Ladies and gentlemen, Vidyaniketan Group of Institutions welcomes you to yet another season of India Insight. Envisioned by Mrs. Prema Rajagopal, the founder of this institution, way back in 2004, the objective ever since has been to enhance the knowledge of India and appreciate the diverse culture of this nation. As our young children take part from various corners of the world, over the last couple of years in the digital avatar, this contest has reached over 20,000 students across 10 countries. We at the Vidyaniketan Group of Institutions truly appreciate and acknowledge the support and patronage given to us by all the participating schools, their teachers and managements. Before we begin, it is our pleasure and privilege to invite a leader in school education, a person who's a strong advocate of co-scholastic learning. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dean Academics at Vidyaniketan, Miss Sumitra Raghavan.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. On behalf of Vidyaniketan Public School, let me extend a warm welcome to all you students for the India Insight World Debating Competition. Children, you are a part of a generation where communication holds the key to progress and prosperity. With the new education policy, which advocates that school children should be creative, collaborative, and expressive, it is our endeavor to create a platform for high school students to express themselves convincingly and eloquently on matters related to our country, India. In its 75th year of independence, it is truly our wish that facts and figures, ideas and ideologies of India are brought to the fore in such debating competitions. As you traverse the various rounds of the debating competition, where many of your co-contestants get eliminated, while some of you inch towards the grand finale, you will be engaged in a battle of words that enables you to put forth your views and thoughts for and against the topic. It is a matter of pride for us at Vidyaniketan that such a large number of students from schools spread across India and overseas have been motivated to participate in this debate, which only goes to prove that our VPS banner is something that has set a standard, a benchmark, and created a reputation for itself in events of this magnitude. As you enter the crucial semi-final stage of the debate competition, I wish you all the best. Let the war of words begin, and may the best speaker win.
Before we progress any further, let us introduce you to your host, the young and charismatic Rashmi Furtado. An alumnus of the prestigious NITK Surathkal, she went on to become the only professional woman quiz host across Asia that she presently is. The co-founder of TeacherTribe.world, she has many a feather in her large hat. From co-hosting Tata Crucible to being the first woman to host a quiz show in Kuwait, she's also hosted programs in Singapore and Dubai. Business World rated her as 40 under 40 for content creators. She was also conferred the iconic woman for creating a better world for all from the Women Economic Forum. Time for us to get started. Please welcome your host, Miss Rashmi Furtado.
Hello and a warm welcome to each and every one of you to the second semi-final of India Inside Debate Young India Speaks, brought to you by Vidyaniketan Group of Institutions. What started as a quiz in 2004 has now extended to a debate and a drawing contest. And as we celebrate 75 years of Indian independence, this is a significant year for India Inside to be extended. Late Mrs. Prema Rajagopal, the founding member of Vidyaniketan, always had the vision to inspire young children about India in a positive way. And she believed that we could do this through engagement and involvement in competitions such as these. We're really happy and glad that her vision and dream has become a reality, and it just keeps growing every year. The digital medium has also enabled us to take this platform beyond geographies. It of course started with Bangalore, moving to a national platform, and now we have students taking part from international locations as well. India Inside Debate Young India Speaks is being introduced for the first time, and we really hope this becomes a tradition and an annual event. Before we move any further, let me tell you that we have had overwhelming participation in this debate contest this year, even though it's just the first year of this particular contest. And these semi-finalists who are here with us today have submitted multiple entries and have gone through a lot of judging process to reach this semi-final. So let's get to know who our semi-finalists are and then get into this semi-final, this entire event that we have for you. Our first semi-finalist here today is Sagnik Chakrabarti from Adamas International School, Kolkata. Sagnik is from grade 12. I'm really happy that he took the time out from his grade 12 schedule and took part in this debate. Up next is Pranav Chandrasekhar from Kendriya Vidyalaya, Dharwad. Pranav is from grade 11. Following Pranav is Taran Balakrishnan from Chettinad Harishri Vidyalayam, Chennai. Taran is from grade 9. And completing our lineup here today is Srisha Naloor from National Hillview Public School, Bangalore. Srisha is from class 11. Well, we have some really extraordinary semi-finalists here with us today, and for such extraordinary contestants, we need an eminent and esteemed jury. Our two judges who have joined us here today, one is Mr. Nagesh P, better known as Corn Croc. I'll tell you why a little later. And our second judge for the day is Karthik Vyas. I'll of course give a detailed introduction of both of them a little later. For now, let's move into the first round of this semi-final, India Inside Debate Young India Speaks. Here we go. As the round suggests, contestants, you will introduce yourself in 30 seconds in this round. The context, of course, is how you perceive yourself as the citizen of our country. In whatever way you want to interpret being a citizen of this country is up to you. We do not want to give you any restrictions or any boundaries to that interpretation. Our first contestant introducing himself is Sagnik Chakrabarti from Adamas International School. Sagnik, your 30 seconds of time starting now.
I, Sagnik Chakrabarti, a citizen of this nation, am pleased to be a part of this prestigious event. Starting in 12th grade at Adamas International School, Kolkata, I love quizzing and debating. I love to take part in these events really, but cannot due to the pressure of high studies. I love traveling, and it is my dream to grow and become a solo traveler. Meeting new people is my forte. I really love social gatherings where, we can share knowledge among various other people. Thank you.
That was Sagnik for you from Adamas International School. Up next is Pranav Chandrasekhar from Kendriya Vidyalaya. Pranav, your 30 seconds of time. Go ahead.
Hello everyone, I am Pranav Lingali. I am a citizen of this nation, a student, a son, a brother, and a person who drifts off into the reality of books and words way more often than he should. I love passing my time by watching movies and series based on fiction, sci-fi and various other genres. I believe myself to be a quiet person in general, but a way more active one in the world of fiction and imagination. Today, I hope to have a healthy competition and wish everyone here the best of luck. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pranav. Personally, I like people who get lost in the world of books. I myself am one such person. All right, up next is Tarun from Chettinad Harishri Vidyalayam. Tarun, your 30 seconds of time. Go ahead.
Hello, I am Tarun Balakrishnan. I'm the first of this name and a typical teenager, or perhaps an atypical teenager. I'm a frequent debater, an ardent theater fanatic, budding screenplay writer. I play 4 instruments, an athletic tennis player, hopefully a future Hollywood director, an experienced traveler who has been to more than 30 countries, and most recently, the published author of a murder mystery novel. But all in all, I'm just a 9th grader from Chennai every day. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Tarun. From one semi-finalist who is into reading a lot of books, the other one is into writing those books. Let's go on to the last semi-finalist for the day, Srisha Naloor from National Hillview Public School. Srisha, your 30 seconds of time starting now.
Good evening. I am Srisha Naloor and I am 17 years old. As a citizen of this nation, I feel the need to pay back to the country for what it has given me. So for that, I've helped around with a bunch of non-profit organizations and NGOs and tried to help out people. I'm also a state level athlete in Taekwondo and volleyball, and I'm slowly trying to get better at them so that I can achieve one of my goals, that is to represent India at a higher stage and preferably win some medals. And at the same time, I also love following my personal hobbies, that is reading, sketching, and learning new languages. Thank you.
Thank you, Srisha. Well, ladies and gentlemen, these are our 4 high-caliber semi-finalists here today. Let's get into the second round of our semi-final point of view. Here we go. The topic of this particular round has not been shared with the semi-finalists beforehand. So this is something that we want to test, how well they think on their feet. The context of the topic on your screen now. If you were the Prime Minister of India, which one of these would you adopt as your topmost priority and why? The topics? We have 8 different topics there: quality education, gender equality, good health and well-being, responsible consumption and production, reduced inequalities, sustainable cities and communities, peace, justice and strong institutions, industry, innovation and infrastructure. We have provided you with 8 different topics, so all of you have a lot of choices. Please ensure that you do not repeat the topic chosen by someone else, okay? Try and stick to unique topics. We have given you a lot of choices, so that shouldn't be very difficult for you. Each of you will speak on the topic of your choice for a minute, okay? I will give you about 15 to 20 seconds of time to think over the topic and gather your thoughts. But after that, you have a minute's time to speak on the topic, okay? So this time we will start with Srisha. Srisha, what topic would you want to go with?
I believe I'll go with quality education.
Quality education is what he will speak about. Remember the context. If you were the Prime Minister of India, which one would you adopt and why? Okay? Your 1 minute of time, Srisha, starting now.
Right. If I were the Prime Minister of this nation, I would choose to make quality education my topmost priority. Why I would do that is because quality education consists of developing the youth of the country into such a level that they are able to make proper decisions that would help the country overall, educating them properly and making them aware of the differences between gender, but at the same time making them feel that we're all equal and we're all the same at the same time, as well as keeping them healthy. So all of these topics that have been given to me would all come under the same thing. So that is why I would choose to make quality education my topmost priority. Also, having a properly educated population of the country would help improve our economy and GDP, while also helping to develop the country further and have a talented workforce that would make the nation proud and also improve its relations with different countries. Quality education also helps us out to have a new variety of jobs that can rise up, and new companies that could also represent India in multinational meets, and also have better athletes as well, because education also takes into account sport education and physical education as well.
All right, Srisha, your time's up.
Right. Thank you.
All right, that was Srisha for you. Quality education, he linked quality education to various different aspects of progress for our nation. Let's move on to our next semi-finalist here today. Taran, what topic would you want to go ahead with?
I will be going ahead with industry, innovation, and infrastructure.
All right, your 1 minute of time starting now.
If I was the Prime Minister of India, my first and topmost priority would be to boost and push forward the industry, innovation, and infrastructure that is present and is run in India. Now, with a country with a population of the size of India, industry and innovation infrastructure is just teeming. We are a pool of these three categories. We are a pool of what they spawn, which is namely progress, growth, development, science, arts, humanities, and all of these categories of intellect that spawn and what separate humans from general species and general animals that inhabit this planet. What makes humans unique? The ability for us to create works of art, the ability for us to have genius that allows us to extend past what is normally possible with just sticks and stones. Industry, innovation, and infrastructure is present in the minds and in the resources that India is given. We are blessed with both natural resources and intellectual property in the billion and more than a billion citizens and the more than a billion people at India's disposal. Industry and innovation also promote sustainable cities and communities. They also promote education, increasing the literacy rate, increasing the division of labor, and increasing the specialization of labor, all of which boosts the GDP, the general happiness index, and more common meta problems such as gender equality. It helps balance out and iron out these creases in India's society. Currently, India's society is plagued by a bunch of problems and a whole myriad of problems, and industry, innovation, and infrastructure.
Your time's up, Taran. Thank you so much. That was Taran for you, ladies and gentlemen, connecting industry, innovation, and infrastructure to the potential of India as a nation and what we can do with it. Our next contestant here today, Pranav from Kendriya Vidyalaya. Pranav, which topic would you want to go ahead with?
I would like to go ahead with good health and well-being, please.
Good health and well-being. All right. Your 1 minute of time, Pranav, starting now.
Well, if I were the Prime Minister of this nation, my utmost priority would be boosting the good health and well-being of each and every citizen of this country. Because this is a simple logical explanation, as you would say. If our population is sick, or if our population we could say, if our population did not have the physical capability or even the mental capability of working properly or of sustaining themselves or even their own society, they would be of no use to our country. If our population has at least a sustainable health, sustainable livelihood, they can give back to their own societies. They can give back to the country, which in turn will help them come up in the status, come up in society, you can say, and that in turn will help our country rise to new heights. Good health and well-being, we can say, is the basic necessity, the basic right of every human being on earth. If there is no good health and well-being or any sort of, you can say, satisfaction for any human on earth or in our country, then that person will have no, you can say, mindset to give back to themselves, because or the society, because they'll be thinking about their own sustainability, how to sustain their own selves. So because of that, if I were the Prime Minister, my utmost priority would be good health and well-being. Because of that, they can give back to the nation, and then our nation can raise to great heights. Thank you.
Right. Thank you, Pranav. Linking good health and well-being to a necessity, a basic necessity and a right that each and every human being has. All right, our final contestant here today, Sagnik. Which topic would you want to choose?
I would like to go with the topic of sustainable cities and communities.
All right, sustainable cities and communities is what he has chosen. Sagnik, your minute's time starting now.
India is a country with over 1.3 billion population as of 2022, and there are multiple number of cities that may have over crores of populations. And these cities, I mean, not only the mega cities like Calcutta, then we have got Mumbai, Chennai, Hyderabad, New Delhi are capital on our own. And most of these cities, I strongly believe, are extremely underachieving what they should achieve with even these high population rates. All these cities suffer from a huge amount of pollution, and then there are loads of other issues as well. There are safety issues, and there are transportation issues, there are high pricing issues. I strongly believe that we need to make our cities better, and these cities and this betterment of these cities will inspire more for from the rural areas and the village areas to come and work over here in the cities, make more money, make the cities more bustling with trades. We strongly believe that cities are your centers for trading, businesses, opportunities, even education, let alone good health and well-being, because living in cities is way more, I mean, it certainly raises your standard and your quality of living, well-being, and health. Doctors are available, and I strongly believe that. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Sagnik. Ladies and gentlemen, these were the perspectives of our semi-finalists here today. Don't forget, you are watching India Inside Debate Young India Speaks, brought to you by Vidyaniketan Group of Institutions. Let's now move on to the third round of this debate, War of Words. Here we go. These semi-finalists here today have joined us from different parts of our country, from length and breadth of our country actually. So I am very keen to see what kind of perspectives they bring onto the table on the topic that we have for them. On your screen now. We, the people of India, propose that India's parliament and assemblies have 50% women representation as a mandate. I think it's a beautiful topic for a panel with all boys in it. I'm very, very keen to see the kind of perspectives these boys are going to give today. Guys, you have a minute's time. Please do not exceed the 60 seconds that we give you. A minute's time to first express what you have in your mind. After all four of you have spoken individually, you have 6 minutes of time to debate this entire topic. I will not be moderating your debate. It's up to you on how you want to take the debate forward. All right? All right. Let us first have Sagnik to give his point of view for a minute's time on the topic on the screen. Sagnik, go ahead.
With due respect to all women around me, I would like to say that I stand strongly against the motion. Applying reservations in society automatically undermines the capabilities of those reserved candidates. Women deserve respect, not reservation. She is already ready to speak about herself. She only needs the push of the society. Do women need reservations when they go to space? No, they don't. And reaching there is certainly tougher than reaching the parliament. She too deserves respect. I am ready to accept a majority of women in the parliament if they fight their way through the society like all others do. Stop feticide, stop infanticide of the girl child. Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, as our Prime Minister says. If girls can score top marks in university finals and become IAS and IPS officers via the UPSC exam, we all know how tough that exam is, I believe they will automatically reach the parliament on their own. Maybe women are more capable than men.
I'm sorry, your minute's time is up. The next contestant here today to express his views is Pranav. Pranav, go ahead. Please stick to your minute's time. Do not exceed that.
Yeah. Hello everyone. Well, in accordance to the topic, I believe that women should be included in the parliament and assemblies, but there should not be any sort of reservation or mandate for their seats. Because as of now, in the world, there are 3 recognized genders or pronouns: he, she, and they. And as the constitution states, our country is a secular country and believes in equality for all. So following this, any and all citizens of India, regardless of their gender, have the right to give back to the society and make their way into the parliament and assemblies of our country through the process of elections or through the actions of showing their capabilities. If we mandate 50% of the reservation for women itself, won't that be unfair to the third gender? They too have every right of representing their community and their own societies in the parliaments and assemblies of India, as they too are citizens of this nation. I believe instead of reserving places for any gender in specific, we should make the parliament and assemblies of our country open for all those who are citizens of this great nation. Thank you, one and all.
All right, thank you so much, Pranav. Our next semi-finalist here today, Taran, go ahead. Your minute's time.
Yes, as the Chief Justice of India, Mr. N.V. Ramana stated just a few months ago, 50% reservation for women in the parliament is not a charity, it is a right. 50% of the Indian population are women, yet the highest percentage of women in the Indian parliament is now at 14%. The allowances and laws made for women, like abortion rights and maternity allowances, are made by male legislature. For example, take when Chief Minister Jayalalitha was the CM of Tamil Nadu, she included the one-year maternity leave policy, which would only have come into action if there was a woman at the post. For example, take a country like the Scandinavian countries. These have the highest happiness indexes in the world. They have, on average, a 42% female representation in their parliaments without reservation. However, 7 decades of Indian democracy have shown that in a patriarchal society like India's, where natural equilibrium cannot be counted on and it will not naturally achieve itself in any time now, we must make purposeful intervention. Purposeful intervention must be taken so that we can include and have equal representation of both genders of humans.
All right, your time's up, Taran. Finally, Srisha, your minute's time, starting now.
Right. Good evening. I would like to start off by saying that in my opinion, this proposition has a slight change that could have been made, saying that instead of having 50% of women, say about 45%, so that other genders which are now slowly rising up, right, with the new LGBTQ and all that, people of different representations also need to have some spot available in the parliament. At the same time, we can't have a direct change of removing the reservations and letting them take their place in the parliament automatically and try on their own, because our country itself is still not ready for that huge of a change, switching from such a patriarchal, repressive society. So we need a bit of leeway for the different the gender population of our country, so that they have a bit of a guaranteed seat in the parliament, and it would also create a sort of butterfly effect that it pulls into by having different genders in the parliament and of almost equal proportions, like crimes against women, which are in such a high rise now, they would be reduced. Women empowerment, you would have improvement of facilities for them.
Your minute's time's up. Okay, you all can of course express your views when you debate it out for the next 6 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, now our contestants will debate on this topic for the next 6 minutes. Guys, the floor is open. Go ahead.
I would first like to go, and I would like to contradict Taran's point on the overall speech, when he said that he wishes about 50% of the women representation, 50% of the seats reserved in the parliament for women as a mandate. I strongly believe that, Taran, I agree with you totally that you have said right, but isn't representation something like an undermining factor to a woman's dignity in the society?
At the same time, we must recognize that a woman is not any less capable than a man, and a man is not any less capable than a woman. All our stance on gender equality, I suppose all of us are in agreement, is that every single person has equal capabilities. Now, the only problem is that in a society like India, I doubt anyone will dispute this, the underlying patriarchy, or rather the underlying and almost culturally cultural patriarchy has caused there to be less opportunities for women. So women, while they might have the same capabilities as men of their post, are not able to reach those posts because of opportunities. As well as there are social stigmas, like how a lot of the general population thinks that a female leader is something of a shame, even though it shouldn't be any different from a male leader. Points like these cause women to have fewer opportunities, and especially considering what we are considering here are parliament and assemblies, where the posts are won by public favor. when the public favor is so strongly stigmatized against women, we can't really say that it's undermining a woman's capabilities to reserve her a spot. It's merely giving her the place to shine.
Tara, I would
Thank
just like to intervene. So I'm sorry about that. You said that you stated that there are social stigmas or cultural stigmas, as you said just right now. But isn't that just showing that if anyone, be it a woman, be it a man, or be it the third gender as well, if they want to do it, why can't they do it? Because you stated that they go to the parliament through the process of elections, and they are based on public votes, public favors. But if they really want that spot, why can't they? Because if they want to go to the spot, they must have thought of something, and only then they must have put in their place in the elections. So it is based on them. How will they remove that social stigma if they really want to go achieve that post or something, right?
I would like
Well,
to, sorry for interrupting, yeah, sorry. But I would like to oppose what Pranav said, because a change is not directly implemented, right? So I know they can all do it on their own, and they have a plan in mind when they stand for elections. But if like Taran said, there's a social stigma that is deeply rooted and it can't be easily removed from the population's mindset, right? We've been growing up with the same kind of teaching from our elders. So if we have a certain amount of representation that's set as a mandate, in the first term, these people who have been elected, they can bring about some change and slowly change the mindset of the people in terms of what they can do, so that the next time they won't have to rely on this. Rely on the reservations to be elected for the second term, right? They have spread their reputation as a good leader.
Very sorry to interrupt, but here it says on a fact that on the 108th Amendment of the Constitution, it was a bill dated 9th March 2010, but it proposes that one third of all seats in Lok Sabha to be reserved for women. However, it's 2022 now, and the bill is still pending. It was passed in Rajya Sabha, but it got lapsed in Lok Sabha. So, if this reservation becomes a priority, then why hasn't it been already done before? That's my
I would like
question.
to
Why hasn't it?
I would like to follow up on that and contradict Srisha's to a point. You said that the term one leaders who are elected right now, if they bring about some changes, then the women there won't be any need for the reservation, like, or there will be any need for the reservation, right? So, but right now, even right now, there is a percentage of seats reserved for women still, like in the present day. But
Right.
there's a yeah. So then, but what about now? What's happening now? Even though it's 2022, women are there in every field of world, in every aspect of life. But why not in the parliament? Why should there be only? Why should they go into the parliament only because of a reservation? Because now,
answer your
and as Taran said, the social stigma. But social, if they really want to go, right now women are doing so much. You yourself said they have gone to space. And now they are leading companies. They're authors. They're everywhere. They're all around the world. So if they really want that, why can't they themselves take up the initiative, and instead of waiting someone to do that for them, and instead of having the seats reserved for them, why can't they do it themselves?
Yeah, to answer your question, Pranav, the problem is you are, I mean, no offense, but of course you are dealing with the entire concept of a woman in such a misogynistic field such as politics, or I won't say misogynistic. I'd rather say strongly public favored field such as politics. Politics is all about who has the public favor. Somebody in public favor will be elected, and somebody in public favor will be in a position of power, where somebody who is not liked by the public will thus get nothing. In such a field like that, you are trying to deal with breaking the fourth estate, considering breaking the fourth estate. The idea that, women in parliament, while it's something that has not been achieved now, could easily be achieved. The thing is, if we are again to assume the notion that all men, women, and every single gender are equal, they also have the same interests in mind. Meaning, if there are a certain number of people or men interested in politics, there will be an equal number of women interested in politics as well. To state that if women wanted to go into the parliament, that they would, is simply an understanding of the woman's idealistics, or an understanding of a woman's career choices.
I would
Obviously,
just,
women want to go. Yeah, sorry, women want to go to politics, but because of the fourth estate, they're not able to break through and make that representation happen.
yeah, just one. I would
And,
like to add one
to
last
add on
point.
to that, the fact that there is reservations in the first place is not that the other population is trying to push them to go into those positions. It's more of a fail-safe or like a fail measure, that just in case that their reputation didn't precede them and they weren't elected
Yeah.
due to public favor, there's a guarantee for them to at least
Very sorry,
have
very
another
sorry.
go at it
At
as
this
like a
point, at
second
this
chance,
point, at this point, I'm very sorry to interrupt, because what both of you are saying is that women are considerably undermined,
True,
because
true, true. You
are
said there's a fail
considerably
safe.
undermined because of all the because about men almost everywhere. I have got a list of some of the most common women high-ranked politicians. We have got Sonia Gandhi, we have got Indira Gandhi, Mamata Banerjee, Nirmala Sitharaman, Sushma Swaraj, even Sarojini Naidu, to be considered in the fact that she was one of the very few women included in the Constituent Assembly that framed our very own constitution.
I would just like to add one
And
more
I,
thing here. I would just like to add one more thing, please.
yes, yes, yes.
Taran, you said that politics is based upon public favor, right? So I would just to add, authors all around the world, their books also sell based on based on how much the public reads their books, based on how much the public buys their products. So that is also based on public favor only. So there are so many female authors that have gone from scratch to riches around them. So
Okay, contestants, your
not
time's
public
up.
favor.
Your time's up. You cannot discuss on this topic any longer. Well, as a lone woman in this entire semi-final here today, I would like to say that any reservation or any such mandate actually does not impact to a great extent unless and until such changes are made at the grassroots levels of our society. Unless and until that happens, our country will not grow and progress as a whole. Reservations and rules, of course, to a certain extent do help certain sections of our community, but the real change has to happen at the grassroots level. Ladies and gentlemen, you are watching the India Inside Debate Young India Speaks 2022, brought to you by Vidyaniketan Group of Institutions. We have completed 3 rounds of the semi-final here today. You have heard these contestants, and believe me, it doesn't sound like these kids are from classes 9 to 12. Their points of view, perspectives are way beyond their age, and I think our judges are going to have a tough time figuring out who is that one person who will make it to that big finale that's coming up. Let's move on to the last round of our semi-final here today, jury time. Here we go. Our judges for the day, let me quickly introduce them to you. Our first judge is Mr. Nagesh P., a passionate civil engineer and a strong advocate of concrete technology. He works for the Aditya Birla Group as a part of Ultratech. A popular speaker, trainer and a youth mentor, he always finds time for schools, colleges and universities that invite him to speak. Over the weekends, he is a nature enthusiast with specific fondness for crocodiles. You heard me right, I said crocodiles. His photographs have got him many accolades world over and is affectionately called Con Croc Nagesh, given his interest in concrete and crocodiles. Nagesh sir, thank you so much for joining us here today. Very happy to have you here with us on this semi-final.
It's a pleasure, Roshni. Thank you.
Our next jury member for the day is Karthik Vyas. Karthik is the co-founder of Logicology, an education startup focused on the 21st century skills. He's a passionate teacher and he has been associated with different colleges as a mentor, coach and visiting faculty. For the last 7 years, he's been teaching a course at the prestigious VNIT at Nagpur. He's an alumnus of VNIT and NITI, and he has published several papers in strategic management societies conferences in different parts of the world like Finland and Prague. He is a winner of the coveted CSI Young IT Professional of the Year Award for his part in the team for the popular TV show Satyamev Jayate. He is also an avid quizzer and he has been the regional champion of Tata Crucible Business Quiz for multiple years. Karthik, thank you so much for joining us here today.
My pleasure. It's so interesting to be interacting with all these young minds, and I'm looking forward to this.
All right. So both of you, we have 4 contestants with us here today. Both of you with question 2 each. Nagesa, would you like to go first? And who would you want to speak to?
My question would be for the gentleman who took education when he becomes the Prime Minister of India.
Education. Who took up education?
Srisha, I think that is.
Srisha took quality education, right? Okay. Go ahead, Nagesa. Srisha, your first question from Nagesa.
Srisha, you are from grade 12.
Grade 11.
Grade 11. Okay. Education for degree or education for a career? What is that you look out as a Prime Minister?
I would actually choose education for a career because that would, for the general population, that would be more helpful than them getting a degree, because having some education for career helps them to find at least some stability so that they can go on living their life, and once they're stable enough to support themselves and their family, then they can maybe, if they have any time, they could go for degree education, right? So I feel career would have been, education for career would be more important.
Yeah, over to Karthik.
All right.
You will
Karthik,
alternate.
whom would you want to speak to?
I would like to speak to Pranav.
Go ahead.
So, yeah,
Yes,
so
sir.
Pranav, we've been vehemently opposing reservations. Can you tell me why do you think that reservations would not help, particularly because see, I know it's an equal opportunity thing. Even this debate is an equal opportunity thing, but I see only men, only guys in this. So, why do you think that we should not have reservations? Don't you think it will give them some kind of chance wherein the space is completely dominated by a set of personnel?
Sir, according to me, I believe that reservations, as I previously stated, they only, you may say, they put a blockade on the confidence of women. Because if the spaces are reserved, then it'll be like you have been given a chance. You have no choice. If you want to take it. Otherwise, don't take it. That's the only choice you have. But if there are no reservations or something like that, then they'll be exposed to a competition, which will again help them and result in a better future for them, for women themselves. That's my point of view, sir.
I know I'm like allowed only one question, but can you just explain how does it, if there is competition, they can't make it to the semi-final of this debate. How does it help them?
So that's the thing, sir. Because now, sir, I'm going to give my own personal example, sir. In the first round of the debate competition, so the 1-minute video which I presented, I had made up my mind that let anything happen, I'm going to give my best, I'm going to try my best, and I'm going to put all my efforts into that. So, sir, if you take up the topic of politics itself, sir, if a woman politician, if she really wants to go, make her spot into the parliament or assemblies of India, then she can do anything, sir. Because right now, women they're everywhere in the world, sir, in every field of the world, and that too there are women who have gone to space, sir. Kalpana Chawla, sir. Then there is Sudha Murthy ma'am, and many others like them, sir. So if a woman really wants to do something, sir, she can do anything. She just needs to put her mind into it, and that competition will result in more experience, in my point of view, sir. For her.
Fair enough. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Karthik.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Pranav. Nagesa, whom would you want to speak to?
I would like to talk to Sagnik.
Please go ahead.
Yes, sir.
Sagnik, when you were talking about in your arguments, I frequently saw you talking about the aspects of when the 50% reservation came. You were a little bit here and you were also on the other side. What would you think the ideal path would be?
To
I
me,
think
I strongly
amongst the lot, I thought you had an argument between both of them. You said the reservation is something good, and you also said that it has got its negativity. I think you have seen the problem a little bit close.
So actually the problem is that reservation, I know it may sound bad, but reservation on its own is a very evil thing. Believe me, reservation actually provides some kind of a handicap. I don't know if handicap is right word, but it I don't know, but if you are, I mean, let's take an example of someone, a very civilized or a very educated person, or who wants to go, who wants to go to the parliament to expresses his views, and he has also been selected over there, but due to the reservation of a, let's say that that person is a woman, but due to reservations she cannot. So what will be over there? So on that point of view, what will be her opinion? Because she is a woman, she cannot express her views. So I strongly believe that that reservations aren't really right. If women are to stand out, or if they want to stand among the men, then they will have to do it the fair way, like the way men do. These reservations won't help them at all. In fact, I have also got another statistical data. I have been using a lot of statistical data to support my argument. We have here that in 2009 legislature there were 52 females in the Lok Sabha. In 2014 it rose to 64. In 2019 it's slowly rising to 78. So curve is absolutely rising automatically, and this is without any reservations. Likewise, slowly, maybe after a couple of years, or maybe I don't know, couple of years, yes, a couple of years after, or maybe a couple of elections later, it will slowly cross 50% if more women are brought onto the mainstream, and that is a huge problem, because loads of these women, they are like considered to be the inferior segment of the society, where men are considered to be more stronger, especially in rural areas, there
Yeah.
where many women are still undermined.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Sagnik. I just wanted to check on that. Back to Karthik.
Sure. So, Taran, I think my question to you would be, you mentioned that everyone has equal capability, right?
Well, it was more of a notional idea that every person cannot be undermined simply because of their birth, whether they were born in a certain gender or born in a certain sex.
Yeah, so you meant that everyone has more or less equal capability, right?
Yeah.
Then why do you recommend reservation for women? If everyone is equal, why do women need that extra push?
Well, here is my response to that. The fact is, while I suppose everyone here will not, disrepute the fact that every person, or that's what gender equality is. Everybody has the same capabilities. We cannot discount somebody simply because of what gender they were born into. As we consider that, the problem is that is a very modernistic thought process. It is a thought process that came about very recently, not even 100 years ago. And the deep-seated or almost animalistic ideas of humans, and not just humans, of any species on Earth, is that the stronger creature, the stronger of two organisms, will be the superior one. That's why elephants are considered stronger, and they're stronger than something like a mosquito or something. The stronger of two will survive. Survival of the fittest, right? And naturally, obviously, on average, and not only on average, biologically, men are physically stronger than women. And because of this biological separation, men have thought to, over centuries, in every civilization that has existed, men have thought themselves superior to women. And this has been almost a mindset, not almost, it has been a mindset for all of human history. Now, in this current time, when we have the peace time, and we are able to lend our thoughts to more equal ideas, and in pushing for gender equilibrium and equal representation in different fields, when we have the time and the peace to do that, now we're able to see that while many of us in the top of the world, us educated, civilized people, are able to recognize that both genders have equal potential and capability, in rural places, which is India being an underdeveloped and a developing country, a large part of India is still illiterate, and because of this, they hold on to the old notions that men are superior to women, and that a woman cannot hold a post in office in the governance of the country, and they hold this ideology. And this is such a large number of people that regardless of whether men and women have the same potential and the same capability to do some good or change the way the country is run, because of how biased the general population, because obviously, as I've said many times, elections are public favor. Becoming a politician and holding an office is public favor. Whether if the public likes somebody, they will get elected over somebody that the public does not favor as much. Therefore, if the public is automatically biased or automatically against the idea of a woman in office, then regardless of the woman's capabilities, even if that particular woman is more suited to the office, to the post than the man that eventually got elected, which is obviously a natural fact. Not everybody is born with the same level of intelligence and capability, but as a rule, we can say that men and women have equal capabilities. But obviously, that specifically, there could be a case where a man is smarter than a woman and a woman is smarter than a man. So in this position, when a woman is more suited, more apt to an office than a man who gets elected, obviously the country would do better with that woman in the position. But that woman is not able to get it, not because of an absence of her merit or of her virtues, but simply because the public is just, prejudiced and is just unnaturally prejudiced against her and doesn't give her an opportunity to speak up.
Okay, so just in your mind, flip it. Okay, just because a man, you and I can't decide whether we are born as a boy or a girl, right?
Yeah, of course.
Just because I'm a boy, if I can't make it to a position because there is a reservation in place, wouldn't that be unfair on the boy?
It would be, and that is the main contradistinction. That is the main argument against reservation. The idea that the communities that are more well-deserved. However, as I've said, which is a quote by Mr. N.V. Ramana, who is the current Chief Justice of India, he said that after historical suppression of women's rights, women's ideologies, women's participation in educational discourses, women's education, women's literacy rates, all of these things, as for thousands of years, this suppression of that will, that at this point, the kind of reservation for women in political sectors and political spheres of influence is not just a charity. It's not something as as my fellow participants have suggested, an undermining act, something that we're giving to them as a charity. It is actually a right that women have earned to be able to speak up and represent themselves in this heavily patriarchal society.
All right, thank you, Karthik. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think the debate of reserved against deserved is a never-ending one, but we have reached towards the end of this semi-final of India Inside Debate Young India Speaks, brought to you by Vidyaniketan Group of Institutions. Like I mentioned in the very beginning of the semi-final, we have only one winner who will make it through to the big finale of this debate that's coming up in a couple of days. And now it's time for us to figure out who that winner is. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the second semi-final of India Inside Debate Young India Speaks is Srisha Naloor from National Hillview Public School, Bangalore. Ladies and gentlemen, you don't go anywhere. The third semi-final of this debate is coming up. You stay tuned and watch all the semi-finals, and I will see you at the next semi-final. You take care.